Hello everyone, this is the video tutorial for using Zoom on a Mac. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up Safari. You can use Google Chrome if that's what your preferred browser is, but I'm going to use Safari. So I'm going to type in Zoom and then search that. And then the first thing that comes up should be the Zoom app or the Zoom website. So zoom.us. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. As you can see on the top right, they give you a bunch of options for being a part of a Zoom meeting. So the first thing I'll show you how to do is host a meeting. So I'm going to click on host a meeting, and then I'm going to click on with video on. Now it's forwarded me to a new page where it's asking me to sign in. So if you already have a Zoom account, you can go ahead and sign in now. But if not, I'm going to show you how you would create one. So I'm going to choose to sign in with Google. When you choose to sign in with Google, this is using your email address. You can see. So I'm going to click on sign in with Google. And then I'm going to click on, this comes up for me because I have multiple accounts, but if you don't, it should just forward you to a blank screen like this one where you can choose to put information in. So I'm going to sign in with our GTG account. Enter my password. Okay, so it's going to ask me for this information. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. And the way that you enter this information is simply by clicking on that arrow, and then you select the month, day, and then year in which you were born. So I'm going to click on continue now, and then I'm going to click on create account. So now I have created my Zoom account. Okay, so I'm going to click on download and run Zoom. I'm going to allow that. So when you do this on a Mac, there should be a download symbol at the top right. It's right where my mouse is. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to click on Zoom. Now it's giving me a bunch of information about installing Zoom. So I'm just going to click on continue. If you have multiple users on your computer, or multiple people who can sign in on your computer, if you do install for all users of this computer, Zoom will be installed on all of their accounts as well. But if you just do install for me only, it'll only install for your account. So that's what I'm going to choose. And then I'm going to click on continue. So now it's telling me how much space it's going to take up on my computer. So I'm going to click on install. And now it says the installation was successful. So the Zoom actually pops right up, but if it doesn't pop up for you, this symbol with a video it's really similar to the FaceTime symbol, but in blue. So that if it doesn't open up straight away for you, you can go ahead and click on that. So now I'm going to click on sign in. I'm going to click on sign in with Google because that's how I created my account. I'm going to choose the account that I want to sign in with. I'm going to click on allow because I want to open up Zoom US. It's going to ask if I want to get notifications from Zoom. So I'm going to say yes and allow that. So now if I want to start a new meeting, I'm going to click on new meeting. So then it's going to ask you if you want to join with your computer audio. So I'm going to now click on join with computer audio. And it's telling me that I'm now using the computer's audio. I want to show you some features about on Zoom that you can see either as a host or a participant on a call. So if I want to mute myself on Zoom, I'm going to click on mute right there at the bottom left corner. So now I'm muted on the call. And it'll tell me that. In order to unmute, I'm just going to click on that same thing. And now I'm not muted anymore. So the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to stop your video on Zoom. So what you're going to want to do is click on Stop Video, which is right next to the mute button. And then as you can see, it'll just show you your name if you don't have a picture for your email account, but we do. So this is our GTG account picture, but that's what it'll look like to everyone else who's on the call. Okay, so in order to start the video again and have everyone see you, you're just going to click on Start Video once again. And once the red line is gone, you should be able to see yourself in the camera. So I just want to make it clear that once you do click Stop Video and they're just seeing your email address or your name or whatever the case may be, you are not stopping your audio and you're not muted. So all the other participants on the call will be able to hear you, they just won't be able to see you. So the other things that you can see on Zoom, if there were more people, you'd be able to see the participants and all of this. So because I am the host of this Zoom call, I can click on Invite. And I can copy the URL, or I can send whoever I want to join the Zoom call this number up here. And that number is the meeting ID. And this number down here is the password. So that's what you're going to want to do when you're inviting someone to the meeting. Otherwise, you can just click on Copy URL and send them a link to the Zoom call, in which case they won't have to enter in a meeting ID or a password. But either option is available. So I'm just going to exit that out. Another thing you can do as a host is mute everyone else on the call. And you just do that by clicking Mute All, because I want the other participants on the call to be able to unmute themselves if they wish. If you don't want them to be able to unmute themselves, you're going to uncheck that box and then click on Continue. If you want to unmute all your participants, you're just going to click on Unmute All. And I'm going to exit out of this screen. So once again, the way that I was able to do that, muting all the other participants, inviting people, all those things, I just clicked on Participants, and all of these options will pop up under Participants. Another option that Zoom does have is the chat feature, which is down here. It says chat. So once you click on that, you can type a message to anyone else who's on the call, and they'll be able to see what you say. You can also type messages to a specific person, but if you do choose to type a message to a specific person, keep in mind that the host of the meeting will be able to read all of that at the end of it. And I'm going to close out of that. So the next option that Zoom gives you is to record. I know a few of you had asked about this. So in order to record a Zoom call, you're simply going to click on Record. And then in order to stop the recording or pause the recording, you're going to click on these buttons. So these two vertical lines would pause the recording. So if I click on that, the recording is now paused. But if I press it again, when it starts recording, it'll pick up right where it left off. So as you can see, when I am recording, up in the top left corner here, it'll show me that I'm recording. I can also pause and stop the recording up here, as well as down here at the bottom. In order to stop the recording, I'm going to click on Stop Recording. Once you do that, it'll tell you that the recording is going to be converted into a file, and that will be saved on your device. Once you end the meeting, Zoom is going to ask you if you want to allow Zoom to access your downloads. You would click on yes, so that you can actually download either the video or the audio recording that you have of the meeting. Then, in order to end the meeting, the host will just be able to click on End Meeting. If you are a participant in a meeting, Most of these options are available to you. However, instead of end meeting, it'll just say leave meeting for you if you're a participant. And then a new screen will pop up that'll say leave meeting or end meeting for all. If I want to leave the meeting and assign a new host, then I'll click leave meeting and the rest of the participants will be able to stay on the call. If I don't want to do that and I want the meeting to end for everyone, I'll just click on end meeting for all. And then it'll start converting the meeting into a recording. A new screen will pop up and this will be it. So Zoom _0.mp4 is the newest one. So that was how to create your own Zoom meeting. Okay, so I sent my link to, or the link to the meeting to my friend. So she clicked on the link and is now waiting for me to admit her. So whoever you send your link to, you'll actually have to admit them into your Zoom meeting. So that way you can control who is in your meeting. So here we have Anya, and I'm going to click on admit. Hello. Oh, she can't hear me yet. So first it'll connect to the audio. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
In order to join a Zoom meeting, you're going to click on join. And then you'll put in the meeting ID or the link that the person sent you. So whoever started the Zoom call will be able to provide you with this information, whether that's the link or the meeting ID. In any case, you'll enter that in. So if you want the Zoom call to connect to your audio and your video, you don't need to check off either of these boxes. But if you don't want your video or you don't want the other people on the Zoom call to be able to hear you, you're going to check off whatever box. Once you enter all that information in, you're going to click join and you have to wait for the person to admit you, and then you should be in a Zoom meeting.